Hello, amazing humans. This chair moves is a wonderful one to do to reorganize your entire body to help you put on your socks or pull up your pants or put on your shoes. And we'll start by sitting on the edge of a chair, feet comfortably on the floor, and just notice how you're sitting in the chair in this moment. And when you're ready, imagine you have a sock in your hand and you're going to put it on your foot. Just simply lift your foot up without thinking too much to put your sock on, and then place it back down. And just notice, what foot did you lift up first? And then go ahead and pretend to put your sock on the other foot. And notice which side felt the easiest, which side felt the hardest. And now pick the leg that was the easiest for you to pretend to put your sock on. So I'm going to use my left leg in this example here. It could be a different leg for you. You pick your most comfortable leg to lift up. And now simply bring your foot closer to your hands and stop wherever is the most comfortable for you. So right here, about here, I have to start to kind of stretch a little bit, hold my breath. So I'm going to stop before I do that. For some people, it might simply be this high. Whatever is the most comfortable for you, just notice how you do it and stop there and then bring your foot down. And just do that a few times and just notice, how is your brain coordinating this movement? What parts of your body are moving to bring your foot closer to your hands? And I'm noticing personally a lot of movement in this joint here and not a lot of movement anywhere else in my body. So just do it nice and slow a few times and notice in your own body what's moving and what parts aren't moving. And that's great. You can just rest for a moment. And when you're ready, bring the same foot closer to your hands. So in my case, it's still my left leg that I'm bringing closer, my left foot closer to my hands. Keep doing it, nice and slow and gentle. But the next time you lift your leg, consciously push through the foot of your opposite foot. So I'm pushing through my right foot, lifting my left foot closer to my hands. Pushing my right foot down, lifting my opposite foot. And immediately notice, what's different now about this movement? Maybe you feel a bit more stable. Maybe you notice that the foot that you're pushing off of feels a little weird and you want to adjust it to a different position, maybe a little bit wider out, maybe a little bit narrower in. So you can play with the placement of your opposite foot. Where would be a good place to place your foot to stabilize yourself, to bring that comfortable foot closer to your hands? And that's great. You can just let that go and rest. And notice if there's anything different with you sitting in the chair now. And now when you're ready, imagine your pelvis like a big ball. We've done this movement before. And simply roll your pelvis to put more pressure onto the tailbone and roll your pelvis just back to the neutral. So you're rolling your pelvis to put more pressure onto the tailbone and then coming back to your neutral. And do this movement nice and slow and notice what parts of you need to move to make this movement happen. So you're probably feeling your pelvis moving, your lower spine moving, maybe even your head is moving a little bit. Whatever's true for you, just notice, go slow and comfortable, rolling to put more pressure onto your tailbone, and then coming back to your neutral. And then come back to your neutral and just pause for a moment. And the next time you roll your pelvis backwards to put more pressure onto your tailbone, consciously push through both feet. So you're pushing your feet into the floor as you roll in your pelvis backwards, tucking your tummy in, putting more pressure onto your tailbone, and then coming back to your neutral, releasing the pressure from your feet. So you're pushing both feet into the floor, feeling your pelvis want to roll backwards more onto the tailbone, and then releasing the pressure from your feet, coming back to the neutral. The pelvis rolls back. Pushing into the floor, rolling the pelvis back, and then rolling back to your neutral. Pushing through the floor, rolling the pelvis onto the tailbone, and then releasing the pressure, and your pelvis rolls back. Keep exploring this movement nice and slow, pushing through your feet, rolling the pelvis back, coming back to your neutral. Noticing what's moving now. Is more of your spine moving? Maybe it's more obvious that your head has to move. Whatever's true for you, just notice. Also notice if you're trying really hard. So I just noticed there, I'm holding my breath. I'm kind of clenching my upper shoulders a little bit. Is there a way to do it that doesn't need that much tension? Is there a lighter, smaller? Usually that means I have to go a little bit slower, a little bit gentler. Can you push through the floor and let the movement flow without any extra effort so that it feels good. And that's wonderful. You can come back to your neutral and just pause for a moment. Feel how you're sitting in the chair right now. Notice if anything's different about how you're sitting. Maybe you might feel a bit taller. Maybe your bum in the chair feels more grounded. Maybe you're really aware of where your feet are. And when you're ready, begin to push through the opposite foot, bringing up that same leg that you were doing before towards your hands, and just notice if it's a little bit easier, you're reaching a little bit further, your foot's coming up a little bit higher. Can you feel the rolling of your pelvis? Is that movement of the pelvis rolling an option for your brain now? A possibility of, hey, maybe rolling the pelvis can help my foot come closer into my hand so it can help me put my sock on. Notice how much more of your spine you're feeling movement. Notice anything different about the ease and comfort of this movement. And that's great. You can just let that go for a moment and rest. Now, without thinking about it too much, imagine that you have a sock in your hand and you're gonna put it on your foot. Simply bring your foot to your hand and notice, was that a lot easier to do? Was your brain able to take in all of that quality incoming information and organize your whole body in a different way to make that movement just so much more easier, more comfortable, more pleasurable? And if you did notice a difference, congratulations, you just experienced brain plasticity, and I would love to hear about it down below. So the next time you're putting on your shoes, your socks, your pants, remember you have an entire body that can help you move through this world with less effort, more ease, and less pain. All right, we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye!